welcome, and today we're going to discuss the link between plantar fasciitis and the SI joint. Now, we all know, or you may have heard, plantar fasciitis can be quite excruciating, and it really does change people's lives for the worse. It stops them doing all the things they love doing. Now just imagine, if you've not had it before, having a red hot poker being pushed through the bottom of the foot every time you walk. This is how severe it can get. Now, I've got the figures down. In my time, I've treated 68 individuals with plantar fasciitis. And what's interesting is that there is a correlation to a few things that I found in their assessment process. So out of 68 people, 62 of them people had an SI joint dysfunction. And what I mean by that basically is their body wasn't able to stabilize the SI joint. Now, for those who don't know, the SI joint is basically where the hips meet the sacrum. It's that little joint in between. That's the SI joint. So we're looking at the sacroiliac joint. Now, there's a very simple way we can actually test this, and this is just called the Trendelenburg test. It's basically, from a standing position, the individual lifts one leg. Now, the pelvis should stay stable in this position. If a Trendelenburg gait pattern is positive, what would happen is, if that individual lifts one leg, the opposite hip would actually lift, or to say, the side in which they're lifting the leg actually drops. Because there's a couple of muscles, one in particular muscle, the gluteus medius, which is a hip abductor, actually isn't able to stabilize the pelvis. So it actually, if I'm lifting this leg, it's not able to stabilize, so it actually drops this way. Now, the correlation with this to plantar fasciitis is, well, just imagine, if you're walking, running, sprinting, any kind of exercise, and the pelvis isn't able to stable, then just think how much more work the rest of the lower body actually has to do to overcompensate for this. So from my experience and in my treatment programs that are, catered for plantar fasciitis on an individual basis, yes, we can look at the symptom, which is the pain in the foot, but we have to look at this kind of kinetic chain of events that's actually going on to find the cause or a probable cause of this symptom itself. So again, when we're looking at plantar fasciitis, it's important that we look at what the role of the foot is in posture and in movement. And again, like I said, there's a very, very high percentage of people that I've treated personally that kind of are positive for this Trendelenburg gait pattern, should we say. So what we want to look at here is, yes, we want to look at kind of unlocking the tissue, creating more blood flow, creating more sliding, gliding the fascia in the plantar fascia itself. But then in turn, we have to look what the Achilles is doing, what the calf complex is doing, what the hamstrings are doing, what the glutes are doing. So there's kind of a pattern here, right? So we're going from the base of the foot and we're working up the back of the leg and into the glutes and then into the lower back. You see, if something's not working up top, it will always be expressed below, and that works vice versa as well. So a simple exercise that I've generally found to be very beneficial is what we call like a glute clamp. It's basically where you lay on your side and you've got a resistance band around the knees and you're lifting the top knee away from the bottom knee against the band to create resistance. And it's this complex, this gluteus medius complex, that really plays a role in stabilizing the position. So I also want to kind of discuss one missing link in this particular exercise that gets prescribed, again, all over the world to millions of people. And what that is that this particular muscle, this gluteus medius that we've discussed, it doesn't work in isolation. So if you were to do the exercise, lay down on your side and you're moving your leg up and down, when in life do we actually do that? See, we don't do it. And this is where again, from experience, from conversations and consultations I've had, it's why people get prescribed these kind of things, but nothing changes. It's because we're not looking at it, or they've not been looking at it in a integrated way. So the gluteus medius is that muscle kind of at the side of the hip. So if you follow your thigh bone, the femur, upwards towards the hip, you'll find a big kind of bony spot. That's the greater trochanter. The gluteus medius attaches from there and actually starts to fan out across the whole of the iliac crest. Now, this muscle doesn't work on its own. It works in conjunction with the gluteus maximus. This is the biggest muscle in the body, the thickest and the biggest, and it's got a huge role to play. So the question is, how do we integrate that into a perfect corrective exercise to help someone rehabilitate from plantar fasciitis? Well, we're going to start with the exercise I just mentioned. Lying down on our side, hips bent to 90 degrees, knees bent at 90 degrees. Band over the top or just above the knees on both legs. From here, you do this against the wall. So the top leg, you're going to push down into the wall. This is going to activate the glute max. From there, keeping that pressure, then we do the abduction movement from the hip. So that's when we start lifting the leg. And it's incredible. When I get people doing this, I get them to do the one that they probably already know to get a feel. And to be fair, not many people really feel anything going on there. But as soon as I, in this case, on the treatment table, I'll place my hand underneath their foot and get them to push into my hand, then get them to do the movement. Them hips and glutes are on fire pretty quickly. And this is how we start to change things from a corrective exercise perspective. Now, yes, there has to be manual therapy, soft, deep tissue work. There has to be an element of body work to help set the system in the right position, so then we can use the exercises to stabilize the new position that we've created. And this way, in turn, we communicate with the nervous system to be able to kind of remember the most optimal position we want that individual or client to be in. So that is the connection between plantar fasciitis and the SI joint. If the SI joint isn't able to be stabilized, that stability has got to come from somewhere else. And from my experience generally, that's always down in the plantar fascia. So if you have any questions, or if you're suffering from plantar fasciitis, give that exercise a go. It will change everything. Alongside self-tissue work, which if you need any assistance in that, please comment, ask away, and I'll send you a few things across that you can actually start to get on with yourself and get rid of that pain. So I hope you liked this video. I hope it all made sense. Please follow, please subscribe, it means a lot. But until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.